Bro, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen, dude. What's up with Izzy, man? He'll look sharp. He'll look as good as he's ever looked, the best shape, and they'll just throw it away, bro. And I kind of saw it with DDP, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Izzy, I saw him losing to DDP. I wasn't sure how, but I kind of figured he was gonna get finished, bro. And even during the fight, I could just see he was just taking these big shots. His defense didn't look like it was what it needed to be to take those shots. And eventually, it was a big overhand or a right hand that ended up forcing him into position where he got submitted. But bro, this. And listen, I'm gonna be honest. I have something against Imavov, bro. I'm being completely honest. I'm rooting against him actively. But it's only because he got that finish over Cannonier that was a short notice, and I really like Cannonier. And I thought he was like pretty much that fight away from getting his shot. Granted, he's had his shot, and I know it wasn't great, but I wanted to see him get at least one more. I just like Cannonier, he's a good dude. I wanted somebody like that to at least get another shot. And to see that one fight led to one of them going going on that slide and the other one going straight to the belt, it's like, bro, he literally could have been one fight away. He could have had the fight, honestly. After he beat the crap out of Vittori, they could have gave it to him, but if he was more of a draw. But it would have been more undeniable here, especially if he would have beat Imavov and then Imavov goes on to, beat Allen or beat whatever, beat a bunch of other people. Yeah, oh gosh. That Strickland win is really aging well. I'm gonna go back and watch that fight. It's really aging well. Because this dude's on a tear, bro. I mean, I get maybe he's better than I thought. I don't know. Who's next? Imavov or Chimaev? Listen, what do you weigh? First round stoppage over Whitaker, second round finish over Adesanya. History would dictate that the Adesanya win is more impressive, right? That's what history and numbers would tell us. However, who do you think would be a more compelling fight for really either winner? Honestly, if Strickland wins, I guess a rematch could be in order. But if you're thinking about you're selling a pay-per-view, especially if it's in like Dubai or it's in Brazil, it wouldn't be in Brazil, or if it's in Salt Lake City or whatever, Strickland Imavov 2 or DDP, who took out Whitaker, took out Adesanya, took out Strickland, versus Hamzat, who, in all fairness, only took out Whitaker, but DDP and Hamzat. Which one do you think sells better? Like, which one you think looks cooler on paper? Which fight do you want to see more? And you have to wonder how much of that goes into the UFC's decision making, right? I obviously want to see Chimaev more. One, because like I said, I have a personal vendetta against Imavov for beating a fighter I like. It's completely irrational, but I don't care. But I also want to see that fight more. However, if they want to do Chimaev versus Imavov, in the meantime, I'm cool with that. I think Chimaev runs through him because Imavov won't have no wrestling. And the striking is not scary enough to put Chimaev on the back foot or to make me think that he's going to be able to just lean on that to beat Chimaev. No, Chimaev, I think he runs through him and mauls him like he does everybody else. But what I think is more likely is that Chimaev gets hurt, gets sick, pulls out, something like that. And then Imavov steps in on short notice, something like a 3 to 6 week short notice against the winner of DDP and Strickland in September. I say whoever wins probably gets this big build up versus Chimaev. They're targeting Middle East. What is it, Dubai or Saudi Arabia? What is it? It's not Dubai, it's the other city, whatever. And then Chimaev pulls out a couple weeks before, and then Imavov steps in. I could see that. He could also sell there. So MVP gets it done. I like seeing fighters lose their O. I'm not gonna lie, it's what makes the sport great. I think it's dope, especially when they just lose it and just move on like it's not even a big deal, I guess, I thought Char was gonna win. I always tend to think that there's some fighters that I just feel have like plot armor, and I thought Char was one of them. I knew he would lose eventually just because he's not a complete fighter in the same way a lot of the top middleweights are. But I didn't think it was going to be an MVP. But it's cool. It helps MVP stock, and I don't think Chara's stock drops really much after that. It's cool anyway because Chara, it's not like he can ever hold a belt. You can't hold a belt. You can only fight in one under one commission. I just knew that was never going to happen. So plus with his skill set, so good for MVP. I mean, the fight means nothing. I don't think Chara loses his ranking because, I mean, MVP's made it clear that he's going back down to 170. This is just a side quest. So I don't think the matchmakers are gonna put Michael Venom Page up to number 14 at middleweight or anything. I think it's just like a fun little cute fight, and then we move on. Pavlovich and Rosenstruck, streak, whatever, boring. To me, Rosenstruck looked like he just didn't want to get finished. He fought like he didn't want to get finished. But when you look at I know heavyweights, we always say like, you know, in any heavyweight fight, you can get put out in any hit at any moment. And that's cool, like I get it. Especially in like a Lewis versus a Pavlovich fight where all either one of you have are your hands. I get it. Gotta be real cautious. But when you watch Cyril Gane fight, or like a Volkov, they don't play by the same rules. You can take a couple hits, you know what I mean? Like you could fight like a regular, even if you watch the Shamil versus, what was his name, Thomas Peterson fight from earlier, they were throwing and landing and hitting like a regular fight. And I get it. None of those guys are Sergey Pavlovich, none of those guys put 5 guys out within 1 minute in a row. I get it. And he's more of a kickboxer and he moves, but in his mind, when he visualized the fight, I'm curious. I wonder how he imagined himself winning the fight when he imagined the fight. Going through training camp and dreaming and just visualizing and meditating. I just wonder how he imagined that fight going. It was an interesting switch up by Sergey. As soon as he didn't really take him down the first, Jairzinho kind of fell down and grabbed his leg. And then Pavlovich realized he could just hold him there and beat him up, that he stood no challenge on the ground. So he actually started going for body locks and takedowns. It was an interesting adjustment. I don't blame him. Even when he saw some success on the feet in the 3rd round, he still went for the body lock just to secure it, to be safe. I guess that fight with Volkov kind of, you know, made him want to just get one back, you know? Which to me, almost kind of looks like maybe his confidence isn't quite where it was when he fought Aspinall. And now it looks like, or it might not even be that. Maybe, I don't want to say confidence. I want to say he's not just relying on his hands. He doesn't just believe that's his only weapon. He's utilizing his other weapons. I mean, the guy trained at AKA for years. Like, you know, you might as well use it. It makes sense. And we've already seen you at the big punch. We already see what you can do to people. And we see it can be done back to you. Boom, woohoo, now go win fights. So cool, not a bad fight, not too much damage. Both of them can get right back in there. I mean, Rosenstruck, it's an interesting matchup because out of nowhere, I'm just gonna call him JR. JR could have put himself right back in title contention. If he had beat him and then beat Blades, he probably could have challenged for the belt. Even though he's way at number 9. But he's number 9 for a reason. So Pavlovich probably has to rematch Blades or Volkov. Volkov, I don't think Volkov's gonna want that fight again. But he probably's gonna have to rematch Blades. Who else is up there? Oh, no, Pavlovich might get Almeida, which would be interesting. So Almeida seems like he's trusting his hands a little bit more. Pavlovich is not the guy to trust your hands with, at least if you're Almeida. But he can definitely stuff a takedown. So hopefully he uses his long reach, his long legs, hits him with some teeps, body kicks, but he's not like a super smart striker. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe he can just wrap himself around him and wear him out. And then last but not least, there's other couple good fights, but I don't really care. Oliveira beating Nurmagomedov. Now, what does that sound like? If somebody said that in 2020, who would imagine what I'm saying when I say that? I like Oliveira a lot. I think he's super dope. He's huge for the division. I like his fighting style. I think he's super dope. I was rooting for him. It was a very close fight. One thing that kind of shocked me, kind of disappointed me, is that he started throwing really wild. And I know he can throw wild, but he usually seems a considerable amount more composed when he throws, even when he's tired, even when he's in like a firefight. He was really over swinging in this fight. And I don't know if he got gashed really early or I know the commentary booth mentioned something about a minimal elevation. I don't necessarily know if that has much to do with much today, but that's the only thing. I think if he was able to keep himself more composed and more technical, like at the end of the first or at the end of the second, when Said was getting tired, if he was able to still keep his striking discipline, I think he might have been able to get Said out of there. He just was missing everything. He was throwing hard and missing, but if he could have kept going to the body, he was doing some good work there. So I really like Oliveira. I want to see what he's going to do 135. Every time you see a fight like this, though, you just are reminded, like, they can't beat Merab, bro. Like, they don't have anything for him. They're going to gas. They gas in this fight in 3 rounds. Like, Merab's gonna like take their soul, like literally. I think I heard. I missed it, but I think I heard he called out Umar, which is funny. That's a big jump. Don't give him that. Give him like 3 or 4 fights first. He gets experience. He faces other strong wrestlers, people that are gonna take him down relentlessly. Good jiu-jitsu guys, people who is gonna have to be creative with his jiu-jitsu. Strong technical strikers, people who he can't make mistakes with his defense or overthrowing, and brawlers, people who are gonna test his heart in his next 4 fights. And then you throw him up there with like a Jan or a Corey or an Umar. I think it could be a good fight for sure. And give him that time to work on his wrestling as well. I think it could be a really good fight. So that's the main card. Honorable mentions: Terrence McKinney, I mean, cool, looked good. Mayra Bueno Silva, disappointed, man. I really was rooting for her. I wanted her to win the belt because I thought her versus Pena would have been a cool like talking match. It sucks to kind of see her fall. I mean, she didn't fall. She was just like going, 3 fight slide, but I just felt like she was just an animal. Like, she was just a monster. I thought she could do a lot of damage at 135. And I know this fight was at 125, but we'll see if she gets that spirit back up. She can get back into it. Shamil Gaziev, I mean, Thomas Peterson put up a good fight. He was game. He was in there. Just got caught. And yeah, really disappointed in the main event. I don't know what Adesanya. I kind of want Adesanya to retire, to be honest. I know people will be like, what's this early, bro? He's only, but it's like, bro. And I'm not trying to speak for him. You know, I respect him a lot. He's dope. But I'm like, I just don't want to see him lose anymore. That's it. That's really it. It's selfish. I'm a very selfish MMA fan. I just don't want to see him lose. And even if I see him win, I'm just gonna be nervous about his next loss, because what does he have to work towards? You're not gonna get the belt again. Who cares if you get the belt again? Like, it won't do anything for you personally, career. Like, who cares if you get the belt again? You did it. You've done it more than anybody that has this belt after you. You've done the belt more than them. You know what I mean? You've done a lot. I just wonder, like, how do you? I understand just cool fights, but I almost feel like that works better for like those crazy brawler, like Justin Gaethje, Poirier. Adesanya, he just doesn't seem to have that style, that temperament to just, I'm just gonna go out and do some wild killer fights. You know, and more so for people who kind of won and lost up their career, and they're just down for just nasty scraps, and they got crazy chins and they chin people. Adesanya seems more like a championship fight, if that makes sense. Like, I'm gonna be smart, pick you apart, do my research, boom, 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 boom. But just taking like fun fights. I mean, who was fun? Who's left? You fought everybody in the division because you beat them all. The only person left is Chimaev, or a rematch with Strickland. It seems like you're getting farther away from Chimaev. If Strickland loses, I mean, you could fight him again. Like, is that really that fun of a fight? If you go up to 205, you're little. You could have some fun fights. But you already told us that you're cool with everybody. You're cool with Jamal. You're cool with Yuri. If you fight Ankalaev, we kind of know it's probably going to go similar to the Jan fight. If he doesn't just knock you out. I mean, if you get knocked out by middleweights, it's just kind of... Oldberg's on his way up, but that's your homie. Roundtree, he's not fighting Round. Don't do that. Don't do that. And you're not going down to welterweight. So it's like, what's the point? Just be rich, bro. Just please. I just don't want to watch you lose. And this is kind of making me feel like this is where Volkanovski's gonna go. He already did 2 in a row. Volkanovski lost only 2 in a row. Just knocked out twice, right? He comes back, he's gonna lose again. And then what? And then Diego Lopez or somebody's gonna be right there to leapfrog to get the title challenge against Ilya. Nobody's gonna fight him for that. Somebody's gonna be right there. So let's say Diego fights Movsar. Let's just say Diego wins. Diego's fighting for the belt. The next person for Volk would be like Movsar or something. Or the winner of Arnold Allen in his next fight, which could be Yair Rodriguez. If it's Yair, nobody wants to see that again. Even if it's Arnold, it's like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you already beat, he should win, right? You beat up Max beat up him. Even if Arnold Allen wins, then it's like, okay, well, you're definitely just washed, because there's no reason you should be losing to Arnold Allen. The only thing I could see there is if Aljamain's able to get 1 win, let's say Brian Ortega since that's the one he's calling for. Although I wish he would just call for Yair. And he wins, and then Volk loses. You could do Volk versus Aljamain, champ versus champ. You might be able to sell that. That could actually be a fun fight. But that's like it. And there's nothing like that in my opinion for Adesanya. There's no like champions moving up. I don't think Leon's moving up. He wouldn't fight Usman. If Bilal loses, he's not going. You know what I mean? Like none of that is interesting. So yeah, that's it. That's my reaction, my thoughts on Fight Night Saudi Arabia, bro. It's always something depressing with UFC, bro. Come on.